Hey guys, it's Jujubee. So today I have a special treat. We are doing a book review at the same time as Zombie Time. So most of you who follow my channel already know that I do multiple different kind of topics. I do the Zombie Time where I talk about zombie stuff or Walking Dead, whatnot. And then I do Jujubee's books, talk about the books that I've been reading. So I had a goal this year. I wanted to read 20 books in the year 2016. So it's now November 18th and I am on my 20th book. So I've made my goal and it's time I get some videos out about these books. So the last one I read, this was book 19, was The Walking Dead, Rise of the Governor by Robert Kirkman and Jay Bonsinga. I don't know how many of you have heard about this book, but I found it by accident. I paid $1 at the Goodwill. It's The Walking Dead, so no brainer, I had to buy it. And it says on the back, first came the groundbreaking and best-selling comic book series, then came the record-breaking AMC television show, and now comes the first in a series of novels exploring the origins of The Walking Dead's fan-favorite characters. And this is the first one, The Rise of the Governor, so it's all about how the governor became the governor. You know, in the TV series, we don't get a lot of background information. I don't know about the comics. I am going to track the comics down. And read the comics next, so I guess I'll find out. But I liked the book a lot. I really did. I read it really quick. It's not that big. The words, don't read the pages if you haven't read it yet, but the words are not all that big. I hope that shows up. And so it's 343 pages. It's a decent sized book, and it starts with right when the outbreak happened. So it starts with the main character. I'm not going to give you any spoilers yet, but I will warn you in a minute when I'll get into the spoilers. So it starts with the main character and his journey from the minute, you know, the outbreak started happening until it gets really bad. And I don't know what the other books are about. I am going to look into getting the rest of the set because it says it's about the fan favorite characters, so I'm wondering if each book is going to be more in-depth about each of our favorite characters. I know when I went to the Walker Stalker Con in Boston, they were selling these books signed by Robert Kirkman for $8. And at the time, I didn't know what I had for money. It was my first Walker Stalker Con, so I didn't know what I wanted to buy. And I wish I got them. I should have at least, knowing I had the first book at home, I should have at least tried to get like the second and third book signed. But $8 is so cheap. But maybe at the next one, or maybe somebody will be selling their copy online. I don't know. I'll have to look for it, but. Yeah, it was a good book, and I really recommend it. I really think if you are a Walking Dead fan, you should read it. And now, for the spoilers, if you haven't read it and you want to read it without the spoilers, you should end the video now and come back later. So, it's a little bit confusing at first, and you don't really understand until the very end who the governor is. Because in the TV show, if you remember, David Morrissey plays the governor named Brian. And Brian has a daughter named Penny who is already a walker, and he treats her like she's still his daughter. Well, in the book, it follows the story of Brian, but it's his brother Philip who is the father of Penny. So Brian is just the niece. And really, I guess I should be going into my thoughts and what you guys think, because for this section of my video, I guess I'm hoping you guys have read it. So, were you confused too? Because I was so dead confused, and I ended up Googling it, and it said that Brian Blake in the TV show is the governor, but in the book series, Philip Blake is the governor, and you find out at the very end that Brian takes his brother Philip's identity. And so that's why in the TV series they follow Philip's story as Brian. They just leave out all the complicatedness of it. And I kind of liked it, you know. At first I was like, wait a minute, like, what's he going to pretend to be his brother or something? I'm so confused. And then at the end I was like, you know what? This makes sense, because now, if you think about it, now, like, not only is the governor who he is and who he's always been, but there's just so much more to it. Like, he's this crazy guy who just kind of snapped and took his brother's identity. And so, back to the situation, the way that they were working together, and then everybody just fell apart. Like, Brian, Nick, and Philip just couldn't hold it together. And I thought it was crazy the way they had Nick kill Philip, and then Brian killed his brother, Nick killed Philip and Brian killed Nick. And I hate that they left it hanging with that girl. Like, what was Philip doing? Why was he taking her away with, like, the tape on her mouth or whatever it was? And what was he going to do with her? You know, like, I wonder if he meant to, like, feed her to Penny or something. I don't know. I didn't like that loose end. I was a little bit confused about when they end up in the apartment with the Chalmers family, with April and Tara and the dad. It kind of confused me. Like, why? Like, that was just part of the story in the TV show. And especially if the TV show came first. If they did the TV show and then decided to make this book, I don't understand why they didn't keep that the way it was in the show. Like, do you remember? I don't know what season it was. Do you remember when Brian, like, loses it and, like, he goes walking, like, he leaves his place with all, you know, he leaves Woodbury, and he just walks and walks and walks, and he's like, gets the beard and stuff. Like, it seemed like he was out forever, and he was, like, all grungy. And he came across that apartment, and I don't remember in the TV show if they had the same names, but it was the woman, or maybe two women, with the father who was dying, and then, you know, the father ends up dying. He turns into a walker, or right before he turns into a walker, Brian kills him, you know, to help the women out. And so in the book, there's a section where, hopefully you've watched this and you already know this, but there's a section where April and Tara have their dad, and he starts to get sick or whatever. He's already sick with his emphysema, and then he dies, and then they don't know he's gonna turn. So Tara, I think it was Tara who ended up getting attacked, and Philip came in and ended up killing Mr. Chalmers. I hope I'm saying that right. I'll write it in the video. I'll write the correct name. But it's like this intense, crazy scene with, you know, their dad comes back as a walker, attacks his daughter, and then Philip, I think, beats him with a baseball bat, and it's gruesome, and it makes everybody upset. But in the TV show, it was like, it gave you a different side of Brian, because he was a different person, you know, in that episode, or in 2 episodes, whatever it was, and he was able to connect with another human, like, not in his psycho form that we all kind of knew him as, or his cold-hearted, like, weird obsession with collecting the walkers' heads and keeping Penny alive, if you can call it alive. But, you know, I feel like that would have been a good scene to put back in the book, but, you know, at the end, like, maybe after Philip and Nick dies, then he goes and he finds this apartment with these people, and he helps them overcome the death of their dad or something. But that was honestly probably my only issue, that and not knowing what the heck Philip was going to do with that girl. I guess it just had to make it. I guess they just needed a reason for Brian to kill Nick, and because Nick was melting down and he was gonna lose it anyway, probably. And otherwise it was good. I was really nervous. Like, I read my books before I go to bed, and I was really nervous that I was gonna be like having walker dreams, because that's what happens when I watch the Walking Dead episodes, or it used to. Actually, this season so far have been good, but past seasons I couldn't go to sleep without fighting off some walkers myself. But it wasn't bad reading it. I think reading it is a different type of entertainment. Like, it's not that like fear, thriller, anxiety, whatever you might call it with the TV show. It's just words, but it's really detailed, and I liked the detail, but I liked, like, you could imagine it without like really being grossed out and spooked. And I don't know, I really like the book. And again, The Walking Dead, Rise of the Governor, I can't wait to read the next one. I will actually put it in this video. I'll put it somewhere here. I'll put in there what the second book is called, and in the description I'll actually add in for you the where you can buy the books. And that's it. I really recommend it. And anyone who's read the comics, I'd like you to give me some recommendations and some of your opinions on the comics too. What it's like to read it. If you think I should read it, even though I've already been watching the shows and things are different. I guess ultimately I don't mind if things are a little different. There's been books that I've read and I'll watch the movie or the TV series and I'm like, what the heck did they change all this for? But I guess as far as The Walking Dead, so far I'm understanding why they kill off certain characters in place of other characters so that they can go on, whether the actors or actresses are just better in general, or they want them to take somebody else's place in the future maybe. And that was my idea with the season 7 premiere. I really thought that the reason they killed Denise instead of Abraham at the train tracks was so that Abraham could take Glenn's place with Lucille. I was so convinced, and when they did, when Abraham went down first, I was like, I knew it. Of course, for all of you who've watched it, you know what the turn of events there was. That was incredible. If you haven't seen my reaction to that episode, I will post a link down below. Check it out, like it, and comment. Hey everyone, I'm back. So my camera cut out when I did the original review of this book, so I just kind of cut out, and I figured I'd just throw in a little ending here to fix it up. So I was in the middle of talking about the season 7 premiere, so it took me a little while to get this in here, but I've still only seen the first 3 episodes of season 7, which is a bummer, but that's what happens when you don't have TV and you have to watch it online and whatnot. So I have not gotten book 2. I still have book 1 here. But now that I know that there's 7 books in this series so far, I am definitely going to get book 2, and I'll do a video for you guys on that too and let you know. Now that we know what happens in the TV show, I wonder how much more the book's going to follow, like the actual character that we're all used to if you're watching the show. And I do know that all 7 books seem to be about the governor. I'll put the titles, like I said, I'll put the titles below, and then you guys can see why I think that anyway. And whatever, I mean, I still look forward to reading some more, and I have a library now, so I'm not sitting on the floor. I'm gonna read some more, so I can't wait, and I can't wait to share with you. Definitely check out my channel. I have more book reviews I'm going to post. I also do some fun videos with my kids. I'm gonna be posting very shortly my costume making that I did for this past Halloween, and some other things. I have a lot of videos that I'm working on right now. I kind of got behind because Halloween was a really busy season, but I'm working on these videos. I'm going to start popping them up. I am going to try to get more regular postings. And well, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you visiting my channel. I'd love it if you subscribe and chat with me whenever. Comment, on the videos and ask questions. Share your opinions. I like to talk, so just hit me up, whatever, and keep coming back. And for those of you who have not met him yet, this is Walker. He is my I Love Brains teddy bear, and he accompanies me in some of my Walker / zombie videos, so you'll see him a lot. Well, thanks again for watching, and see you again soon.